So my dad always says that whenever you have to start with a new subject, always start with its history. So that's what I've done here. What I've done here is I've actually created a whole timeline of artificial intelligence for you guys. And you'll be surprised to see that artificial intelligence or AI has been available since ages. Really. So we are talking about 1950s. So in 1950, there was a British mathematician called Alan Turing. He published a paper called Computing Machinery and Intelligence. So you can think about it that even in 1950s, they were thinking to make computers as intelligent as humans. And he also came up with the Turing test, which is quite a simple method of determining whether a machine can demonstrate human intelligence or not, right? So this was Turing test. Then we move on to 1956. In 1956, a guy known as John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence. So sometimes people ask, who is the father of artificial intelligence? So I always say the father of artificial intelligence is John McCarthy, because he was the one who coined the term artificial intelligence, and it was done at the first ever AI conference in Dartmouth College, right? So things started maturing in 1960s. Frank Rosenblatt builds the first Mark I perceptron, the first computer based on neural network, guys. So don't worry if you don't know about neural network. We will do deep dive into neural network in our upcoming lectures. But for the moment, you can think about it. A neural network is where the scientists thought, how does a brain work? So brain works on neurons. It's the same way they wanted to make machines intelligent and as intelligent as the human brain, right? But this was a very beginning of neural network, and hence it actually worked on trial and error, right? So it was just based on trial and error. So if you do something, if it errors out, then you improve upon your algorithm and go along. Then we move on to 1980s. So in 1980s, the neural networks were maturing enough, right? So if you see the neural networks which use backpropagation, so this was a new concept which came in. So there is always a concept of weights here within neurons. So these are all neurons, just like human brain, right? So there's a concept of backpropagation. So in machine learning, backpropagation is a gradient estimation method which is used to train the neural network. So it is basically a method which helps to train the neural network, right? So 1997, I even remember this when it was in news at that time, where IBM's Deep Blue beats the world chess champion. So at that time, Garry Kasparov was the world chess champion. So it was the first time that a computer was able to beat Garry Kasparov, and it was everywhere in the news at that time, because it was a big thing that a computer is that intelligent that it can even beat a world champion in chess. Right. Then things matured further in 2011. We're talking about Jeopardy. So Jeopardy is actually a game show. So rather than being given the question, the contestants are given general knowledge clues in the form of answers, and they must identify the person, place, thing, or the idea that the clue describes. And so phrasing each response in the form of a question. And this was the first time that IBM's Watson beats the champions Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter at Jeopardy. So if you see here, both the guys are there, and this guy is our IBM Watson, and he's able to easily beat these two champions. Right. Then we move on to 2015s. Things are maturing, guys. Things are heating up. So Baidu. So Baidu is a Chinese multinational technology company which specializes in internet-related services, products, and artificial intelligence. So in 2015, Baidu's Minhwa, so this was a Minhwa supercomputer which used special kind of deep neural network. So there is a concept of machine learning, there is a concept of deep learning. Don't worry at this stage, because we will learn about deep learning as well. It used to identify and categorize the images with high rate of accuracy than average human. So that was the beauty of it, that the results were much more accurate than as compared to the humans. Then we move on, 2016. So there was a board game called Go. So Go is an abstract strategy board game for two players, in which the aim is to capture more territory than the opponent by fencing off the empty space. So in 2016, DeepMind's AlphaGo program, powered by, again, the deep neural network, beats Lee Sedol, the world champion of the Go game, in a 5-game match. So within 5 games, AlphaGo was able to defeat the champion at that time. So if you see, this is AlphaGo. It was able to defeat this guy, right? Now comes 2020s, guys. I always say this is a game changer in this whole. So AI was always there, but what changed the face of it is Gen AI. So you will hear a lot of these terms, generative AI. So OpenAI is a company which released GPT-3, which is world's sophisticated language processing AI model, which was capable of generating human-like text. Very important. So it is not predictive AI. We will learn again about the differences between predictive AI and generative AI, but for the moment, you can think about it that you are giving a prompt, or you're giving just a simple input, right? Write me a poem, write me an essay, write me a story, write me a letter. And the AI system is able to understand the context and create human-like text. That's why I say it is definitely game changer. And you will see from 2020s onwards, lot of things will happen in this space. And this space is where all the companies will be putting their research and development, their R&D budgets on generative AI. So I think with this, you've got a good understanding of the entire AI timeline.